All right, we will give this a couple minutes to let any stragglers jump on before we get started here. Okay, we will go ahead and get started. My name is Rory Sands. I am the Director of Solar Education here at Sunsense Solar. We are based in St. Charles, Missouri, just outside of St. Louis. We cover um, all of, almost pretty much all of Missouri and everything in Illinois, southern Illinois, up north as far as about Peoria. So, as well as Indiana, southern Indiana area. So when we talk about things with the impact property value, pretty much going to be fairly consistent nationwide, but our expertise is here in the Midwest. So if you are from outside of that area, you hear anything that sounds maybe different to your area, just know that we are basing information off of what is relevant to um, our our geographic area here in the Midwest. So one of the big topics that comes up when people are considering adding solar to their home is what is the impact going to be to the property value, and that's for the most part, people do understand that it's going to add some value. Occasionally, I get the question of people thinking that maybe it's going to decrease the value of their home, but typically it's just how much is this actually going to increase the value of my home? Am I going to get um, a big chunk of what I'm paying on the solar system back, and how is that calculated? So those are the things we're going to dive in today. What solar does to a property's value. What are the factors that influence that, and then things you should be thinking about when it's time to buy or sell a home that has solar on it. And then, of course, we will be spinning the wheel for $25 gift card at the end as well. At any point, if you have a question, you should see a Q&A button there on your screen. You can feel free to type in those questions, and I will answer those at the end. Oops. So let's get started. So the benefits of solar power to your property value. So yeah, the solar on a home, when installed properly, well aesthetic design, is going to be very attractive to new home buyers. So, as we know, the electricity rates across the country have been in a pattern of skyrocketing over the last 4 or 5 years. There's a number of reasons for that. You can go back and check out our YouTube channel, previous webinars where I've really dove into that subject and how we know that the utility rates are going to continue to rise at a high rate for the next several years to come. And so when the people are looking to buy a home, right, one of the things that it's going to become more and more important on their list is what are my utility bills going to look like with this new home purchase. Most people, when they're buying a home after that first home, then they're usually upgrading. They're going to a bigger home. Well, if I had a $300 electric bill at my small 1,500 square foot home, now I'm looking at a 3,000 square foot home. I'm probably getting a little concerned about what the electric bill is going to look like for that. So this is one of the reasons, as well as just people having a more conscious awareness of the the green movement, as it's sometimes referred to, or just doing their part with renewables to help offset the carbon footprint that we're doing. So for those reasons, there's a handful of others, but people are looking more and more towards homes with solar. And so, the National Renewable Energy Laboratory, who's doing studies on this type of stuff, has said that homes with solar panels will sell at 17% more than homes without solar. There's studies. There's additional studies out. The Berkeley College did a study back in 2015 that was by far the most in-depth study at that given time on property value from solar. And at that point, they were saying that solar was adding $4 per kilowatt size of the system. So if you had a 5 kilowatt system, that was adding $20,000 in value to your home when you went to sell it. Now, you'll see those numbers out there a lot from solar companies. They really like that study because it really shows a high value for solar when you're selling a home. The important thing that I think people need to understand about that study is the time when it was done. Okay, so at that point in time, solar, the average cost when you were buying solar was like $5.03 a kilowatt. Now the average cost is down around $3 a kilowatt. So that's, be leery of somebody trying to tell you that when you go to sell your home, that your home is you're going to get more out of that solar system than what you paid for it brand new. Okay, that is not likely to be the case. Okay, but the study, what it showed us was the math overall of what we can expect. So I do like it from that standpoint. So if you look at it and say, okay, the average price of solar, buying it brand new, if I was going to install it on my home, was $5.03 a kilowatt a kilowatt. So systems are sized by kilowatt. It's the wattage size of the panels times the number of panels gives you the kilowatt size of the system. So if I had 400 watt panels and a 400 watt panel times 20 of those, I would have an 8 kilowatt system, right? And so if the average cost was $5.03 back in 2015, that system would have cost me $40,000. When I went to sell it, I would have got about $32,000 for that, or roughly 80% of what I paid for it. Okay, so I think that is an accurate number to use when considering, okay, what kind of numbers can I expect when I go to sell this home with solar on it? How much is it really going to add? About 80% of what the retail cost of it, the average retail cost, I think is a pretty accurate number. So if you think about it, you're still immediately coming out ahead. If you buy a solar system, you then get a 30% tax credit. So now your net cost is only about 70% of retail. So you're quickly coming out ahead. Now, the reason why I think that 8% still is a pretty relevant number is because what can we expect to see over the coming years with the cost of solar as well as the cost of utility rates? Both are going to go up. Okay, we've hit the rock bottom with solar pricing. We've already seen it creeping back up. It's being hit by inflation, same as any other product on the market, right? Their inflation is causing prices to creep up slightly. So, in addition, in 2032, the tax credits that are available are going to go away. So, that extra 30% that you get for purchasing solar now, that's not going to be in the field of play for people adding solar after we get past that 2032 deadline. So with those factors in place, that's just going to make the value of the solar continue to rise on a home. And so people will ask when thinking about this, well, how do I know, why would somebody want to buy a house with solar on it versus not? And here is the reason for that, right? If you think about having the same house side by side, we see this in subdivisions, right? They have 3 or 4 different models they're building just over and over and over again. So you very much could have a home that looks, that the layout, the size, everything is identical to the home 3 doors down for you. Now let's imagine they both are for sale at the same time. If you are buying a home and you can see that home A does not have solar, so it has an electric bill of $500+ a month, or home B has solar on it and its electric bill is $14 a month. Obviously, you're going to be willing to pay $20,000-$30,000 more for home B, because $20,000 in a 30-year mortgage is nowhere close to $500 a month, right? So having that solar on their home makes it far more attractive. So we've talked about most of this already, but one of the other key things to understand, and this is definitely accurate in the Midwest, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, and I believe in most other states still, where your property value, even though that your value of your home went up, right? Your $300,000 home is now worth $320,000 with solar on it. Well, your property taxes do not increase. The solar system is exempt from an increase in property taxes. So it's just another benefit that the government is giving to homeowners for helping to reduce that carbon footprint, right? By going to a renewable resource for your electricity, you're helping the environment, you're helping the movement of switching from these fossil fuel sources to the renewable resources. And by doing that, they want to incentivize you. So on top of the tax credits, you also get the advantage of it not increasing your property value. So just a real nice perk. You can't do any other home renovation project, right? You put up a fence or you redo your kitchen, any of these things, and they're going to raise your property taxes. With solar, that is not the case. And so the question that also comes along with how much more does it increase the value of my home, but also, what if somebody doesn't want it? What if, we get home buyers, nobody wants to buy a house because it has solar on it? Well, the NREL that we referenced earlier, right? They found that homes with solar spend 13% less time on the market. Okay, so just statistically, not only do we see a higher value for those homes, they're selling at a higher price, they're also selling faster. So solar is very attractive to home buyers. For the reasons we've mentioned, obviously, of saving money, but in addition to that, just looking at more sustainable energy solutions, people like being a part of that movement. The other thing you can look at is, if you add battery backup with your solar system, now you have that ability to be off the grid. When you go to sell that, that is another selling perk of your home, another increase in value, because not only have you eliminated electric bills, but now you are also self-sufficient. We get more and more people are considering the state of the grid, what happens if the grid goes out. So when you're selling a home that's got battery backup in it, that's got that protection from grid outages. Again, it's just another increase in the value, another thing that makes your home more attractive. So now let's kind of turn and flip and look at this from the other side, right? We're talking about selling the home, why a homeowner would want to buy a house with solar. But let's say you're on this call because you're in the market or going to be in the market for a new home, and you're wondering, should you be looking at a home for solar, and what things should you be paying attention to? So just wanted to add a few more tidbits about that. So when looking at a home that has solar on it already, so the things you want to be paying attention to, or that you want to ask about, find out the where the warranty situation is with the system. Okay, so one of the big values of a solar system is that these things are typically warranted for 20, 25, 30 years. And so when you go to buy that home with solar on it, you want to find out what warranty is included, what is left on that warranty. And then you want to ask for data as well. Okay, so the current homeowners should have the ability to run reports out of their app for their solar system that would show you how much power is being produced from this solar system. So that way, it's a great way just to see that it's working, right? I would also recommend requesting a copy of, an electric bill or two. That's the homeowner selling the home should be very happy to show you what their electric bill looks like with their solar system on there. So give you a good idea, hey, is the system currently producing everything that's being used in the house? Is it just partial? And you want to see those type of things. And then when you have, let's say you get into the point you're in contract on the home, contact a local solar provider. My recommendation, right? They're going to charge you to come out and do a diagnostic on the system, but I do strongly recommend that you have some company come out and do a diagnostic on the system. Just check everything out, make sure everything's working still the way it was. These things require very little maintenance, so rarely do you ever see that there's any issue with it. But if you're going to be making the purchase of a new home, that you're also paying more for because it is providing you with a solar system that's there to produce all your electricity. You want to make sure that everything's in proper working order, so that you can feel comfortable with paying that extra premium to get that all included. Okay, so that's a quick rundown on your solar and the property values and what to look for when you're selling or buying a home with solar. If you have additional questions, if you're in this process, I know that solar in our area has really been making its big growth over the last few years. So there's not been a ton of houses sold. If your realtor has questions, if your mortgage lender has questions, you can feel free to have them reach out to us directly as well. I'm happy to walk them through any of the details that they need help with, to make sure that you as the homeowner are getting proper value for your system when you're selling your home, or if you're on the buying end and you're buying it, making sure that everything is on the up and up when you go to purchase it. So here's our information, our direct phone line, as well as you can go online and fill out just our contact sheet or find us on the social medias. And here we go. We're going to give away a $25 gift card to, I believe, Amazon. Give me just a second. I'm going to stop this screen share and pull up the wheel. All right. Share the screen so everybody can see. as we spin. And here we go. Let's see who our winner is. Hey, Joy Lucky. You are lucky. There you go, Joy. Congratulations. You will receive an email from our team to get that gift card for you. And then let's see here. Looks like I had a few questions. Let me see what I got over here. Just pulling up. All right. I had a question about, is it insured in case of natural disaster or any other issue? Great question. So you will put, if you purchased your solar system, then you are going to put this under your homeowner's insurance policy, right? It's going on your roof. It's part of your dwelling. So it doesn't require a separate insurance policy. It just becomes a part of the dwelling. So kind of in that scenario that we talked about, you know, and your property value going up, right? The replacement cost of your home has now went up. So if your home was $300,000, what your insurance policy was to replace it if it, you know, was taken away in a natural disaster. Well, now they're going to say, okay, well, the cost of putting on the solar was, let's say, 30,000. So now your overall dwelling coverage needs to be 330,000. So that can sound like a lot of money, but when it comes to insurance cases, I've not heard anything more than like $100 a year in additional premiums when adding on your solar under that dwelling coverage. So great question there. And then it looks like I got another question here about what impact does solar have on commercial property value? Any unique considerations? Great question there. And that one I don't have a ton of background on. We have done primarily residential projects, small commercial. I've not had any of my direct customers that have they've had a commercial property that they sold. So what I do know about that situation is just that it's very much the same principles of what we've talked about with the residential, right? The fact of let's think about the average warehouse, the electric bill. So we're just getting on a bigger scale is what it comes down to, right? So electric bill of a typical warehouse may be $2,000 a month instead of a few $100s a month. So if as a business owner you're selling that property and it's got solar on it and you have the evidence to prove that this property has, you know, no electric bill anymore, that is going to bring a significant premium on the sale of that property. So in many cases, it'd actually be easier to show on the commercial side of things. All right, now let's see here. Oh, I thought I had another one pop up. Nope, nope. Okay. Nope, I think that is it. So thank you all for joining us. And again, feel free to reach out if you want to have a direct conversation about your individual situation or if we can help you get a quote for your home. Have a great day.